Well, hi there and welcome back. We officially are on day 5 of our Easy Sourdough Starter, and today we are flat. So today I still have my marker from where we were yesterday. You guys can see where we were. You can see that we did get some rise. I can kind of bring that closer. There you go. You can see we did get some rise, obviously. We had quite a lift yesterday, but we are flat and hungry. So we are going to feed him, and I'm going to talk to you guys about a few questions that came up yesterday from our day 4 video. I'm going to answer everyone directly in the comments that did ask, but they were good questions, so I wanted to share with you guys as well. So we are going to go ahead and feed him and let me answer some of those questions. So yesterday somebody asked about the hooch that's on top, the liquid, and if I ever dump it out, and I do not. I find that if you're feeding it every day, the liquid that is on top is totally fine. Now, if you do not want to feed your starter every day, I had somebody ask, what if I don't want to keep up with it every day and I just want to have starter every once in a while? That is fine. You can store your starter in the fridge and you do not have to feed it every day. And then when you go to use it, you would just simply take it out of the fridge and feed it like we always do to get it reactivated and going and be ready to use. So when you take it out of the fridge after, say, a week or so, and you haven't fed it, you might have a good amount of hooch or liquid at the top, and it's okay to dump some of that out if you want. But realistically, unless it is those crazy colors we talked about a few videos ago, you're good just to use it as natural liquid and mix it back up in there. Today we are liquidy, like no structure to this at all. It is like soupy, watery starter. So I'm not going to add very much liquid at all. I'm going to start with just flour actually, and I'm going to see with a 1/3 cup flour how much water we actually need. I'm thinking instead of adding more flour today, like we talked about yesterday, I might just do less water. So one of our subscribers, Mandy, brought up a really good question because I was talking yesterday about the fact that my starter was getting hungry fast, like too fast. And she said, do you think that if you use like a bread flour, it would stay full longer? It wouldn't be as hungry because bread flour is a richer flour for the starter, and she's absolutely correct. If you want to have a starter that really is kick-started, only needs to be fed, once every 24 hours and really stays good and full, a bread flour does a great job. I am using basic white flour just for science purposes to show you guys that you can use just basic all-purpose flour to still make a starter and it works fine. But if you do use a bread flour, it will definitely feed it heartier and it will be a more hearty starter to get it bubbly and fed, and will keep it fed longer. But the all-purpose flour works as well. So I've got my 1/3 cup, which I did confirm is a 1/3 cup. I had a few people say it looked really big, but it is. It's just a 1/3 cup. And I'm going to mix that in here really quick without any water. It is pretty liquidy, so I'm going to just kind of see how it looks after we add some of this flour to it. We've been doing a 1/3 cup flour and up to a 1/3 cup water every day for the last 4 days. Today I have done no water so far. I just added flour. I want to show you guys the consistency I was able to get without adding any water, just from kind of the liquidy texture of the starter already. So this is kind of the texture right now. If you have been following along yesterday and the day before, it would have slipped right off the spoon. So you can really tell the texture difference from being a little bit watery versus a little bit dry. This guy is a little bit dry. I'm gonna go get a tablespoon of water. I'm not gonna do very much. I'm just gonna do a tablespoon of filtered bottled water. We've talked about it, but I'm gonna go grab that now. So I just put a splash of water in my little measuring cup. I'm just gonna put a little bit in here. Probably like a tablespoon. Remember, it's not science. If I get it too liquidy, I can add more flour. It's not a big deal. I'm going to mix this water in though really quick, and we're going to see if the texture gets any better. Okay guys, I think I officially have my starter texture, probably the best it's been in a few days. I showed you guys over the last couple of days it was a little loose and like a little watery. So I just want to show you really quick the texture I was able to get this one to by adding just a tablespoon of water. So you saw how it was before. It was kind of thick and pasty. So now that's better. That's still a little bit thick, but it's got a little bit more texture to it, a little more hold than it did yesterday, but not as thick as it was a minute ago. So I think that was the ticket today. It was just a splash of water and that 1/3 cup flour. So for tracking purposes, because yesterday I never got to see the rise, I know it happened because I could see the markings on the jar, obviously, but I want to see how much growth we get from today. So I am going to go ahead and just do a little line on the side here where it's at, so I can kind of keep track and see how much of a rise we get. But I have a good feeling based on the texture of this guy, I'll probably get a good double rise on this tonight. I'm curious how you guys are doing. I've had a few of you update me and let me know that your starter's doing good. I had a few of you say that it was a little liquidy. And then, like I said, I did get a few questions about the hooch on the top. And honestly, guys, there's no wrong way to do this. There are a lot of ways to do sourdough starter. And if you're in any sort of groups or like Facebook groups especially, you're gonna have a lot of people that are very specific about the right way to do something. And that is fine, but I find it so confusing. So I hope that my plan and kind of what I've put together for you guys shows that you can have a really easy process to do a sourdough starter. It doesn't have to be complicated. And although there are questions around things like the liquid and the colors and the smells and all the different things, it's gonna be okay. If it doesn't have black mold on the top, it is fine and you're gonna be okay. So a few things again, like we were talking about, if you do not want to have to do this every day, if you don't want to have to maintain your starter every day, just simply put it in the fridge, and I would say feed it like once a week or so. Make sure it gets a little bit of feeding, but you can just store it simply in the fridge without feeding and it'll be totally fine. When you do want to use it, just pull it out in the morning, go ahead and feed it and leave it on the shelf to get back to room temperature and get active again. If you're like me and you like to have a little bit of sourdough starter every day in the form of crackers or like a pizza dough, I feed mine every day and just keep it on the shelf. That's totally fine. If I'm going to be going on vacation or just want to take a break, I'll just simply put it back in the fridge and pull it back out when I'm ready to use it. So I think we are at about the end of our journey here when it comes to making our starter. He is pretty active. I think depending on how he looks in the morning, I will make a decision on if, we need to go through any other steps with feeding it. Or if you guys have any other additional questions or want to see anything specific, just drop it in the comments and I will show you. But I think tomorrow we officially are ready to make our first recipe with our starter. And I will go ahead and show you guys the crackers that I make that are my absolute favorite. You guys will also be addicted to them, so fair warning. But I think tomorrow we'll have a brief talk about starter and I'll go ahead and make my sourdough crackers for you guys. And then you can try it out as well, and you'll see it is super simple. I promise it'll be a very easy recipe for everyone to make, even if you are not a baker. It is like 2 ingredients. You cannot screw it up, promise. So until tomorrow, guys, make sure you let me know how your starters are doing. Ask any questions you might have, and I will make sure to get back to all of you guys that asked your questions about your starter or about what I'm doing with mine, why I choose the flour I do, etc. I will get back to all of you guys. And then my mom and I are going to be working on getting all of our seeds sent out to you guys that made your request this week. So I will get those sent to you probably early next week as well. And then I will email everyone this weekend who is getting seeds and let you guys know they are on the way. So you can be on the lookout for those. So until tomorrow, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope your starters are growing and rising. And if they are not and you have questions, let me know in the comments. I will see everyone tomorrow to make our sourdough crackers. And until then, guys, don't forget our motto here at Little Bee Farm: anything grows if you try.